Throughout the Harry Potter series, prophecy appears surprisingly few times. Yet whenever it does appear, it seems connected to moments that shape the future of the entire wizarding world. Professor Trelawney delivers only two genuine prophecies. The Centaurs repeatedly study the heavens and claim to see future events written in the stars. And despite coming from completely different sources, both seem to point towards the same conclusion. Something greater may be guiding the course of history. But where does prophecy come from? And why does it seem to appear whenever balance in the wizarding world is threatened? In this video, we will try to answer these two questions. Prophecy appears through two different methods. The first comes through seers. The second comes through the Centaurs. Although they approach prophecy differently, both seem to be reading information from outside themselves, almost as though they are observing something already written. The most well-known seer in the series is Sybill Trelawney. Despite her reputation for vague predictions and dramatic warnings, she delivers only two prophecies that are universally accepted as genuine. The first is the prophecy that launches the entire story. The one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord approaches. Years before Harry ever attends Hogwarts, Trelawney predicts the arrival of the child who will one day defeat Voldemort. The second prophecy comes during Harry's third year. While speaking in a trance once again, Trelawney predicts that the Dark Lord's servants will return to him before midnight. Hours later, Peter Pettigrew escapes and reunites with Voldemort, setting in motion the events that led to the Dark Lord's resurrection. What makes both prophecies remarkable is that Trelawney has no memory of speaking either one. She does not create the prophecy. She simply becomes the messenger. The words seem to pass through her from somewhere else. The second form of prophecy comes from the Centaurs. Unlike seers, Centaurs do not enter trances. Instead, they study the heavens. Again and again, they reference the movement of planets and stars. And when Harry first encounters them in the Forbidden Forest, they repeatedly mention Mars burning brightly overhead. To the Centaurs, this signals conflict and bloodshed. Yet something even more interesting happens that night. When Firenze rescues Harry from Voldemort, the other Centaurs react with anger. They accuse him of interfering with events that were meant to unfold naturally. One possible explanation is that the Centaurs had foreseen Harry's eventual death in the Forbidden Forest years later, and believed Firenze was interfering with a fate already written in the stars. That possibility makes Firenze's next words especially fascinating. After carrying Harry to safety, he tells Harry, "The planets have been read wrongly before, even by Centaurs. I hope this is one of those times." That line is easy to overlook. But if the Centaurs believed the stars foretold Harry's death, then Firenze may have been expressing hope that the future itself could somehow change. Years later, Firenze becomes Hogwarts' divination professor. During one lesson, he explains that the wizarding world is living through a calm period between two wars. At the time, Voldemort's return is still hidden from much of the wizarding world. Yet Firenze appears to recognize that another conflict is already approaching. The Centaurs seem capable of seeing patterns long before ordinary witches and wizards can. And that idea becomes even more interesting during the Battle of Hogwarts. When Harry willingly walks into the Forbidden Forest and allows Voldemort to strike him with the killing curse. Hagrid is forced to carry what appears to be Harry's lifeless body back to the castle. As the defenders of Hogwarts watch in horror, the Centaurs remain largely absent from the battle. Hagrid even shouts at them for refusing to fight. Yet moments later, after Harry's apparent death has been witnessed and the battle reignites, the Centaurs finally charge into the conflict. This could be coincidence. Maybe not. But if the Centaurs truly believed the stars foretold Harry's death in the Forbidden Forest, then seeing Hagrid carry Harry from the woods may have appeared to confirm that the prophecy had finally come to pass. Only then did they join the fight. Whether that interpretation is correct or not, the Centaurs consistently behave as though the heavens reveal patterns far beyond the understanding of ordinary witches and wizards. This raises an important question. If seers and centaurs can both glimpse future events, what exactly are they seeing? The books never provide a direct answer, but they do provide a pattern. Prophecy tends to appear when history approaches a turning point. When Voldemort rises, when Pettigrew returns, when wars approach, when the future of the wizarding world hangs in the balance. Again and again, prophecy appears near moments of enormous consequence, almost as though it is drawing attention to events that matter most. This leads to an interesting possibility. What if prophecy is not simply predicting the future? What if it appears when balance in the world is being threatened? No figure in this series creates more imbalance than Voldemort. His entire life is defined by his refusal to accept the natural order. His origins are unusual. His obsession with immortality grows into something darker. And eventually, he begins tearing apart his own soul. Not once, not twice, but 7 times. Each Horcrux requires murder. Each Horcrux damages the soul. And each Horcrux represents an attempt to escape a fate every living thing must eventually face: death. If there is such a thing as a natural balance within the wizarding world, Voldemort spends his entire life fighting against it. And perhaps that is why prophecy becomes so closely tied to his story. The prophecy of Harry Potter, the warnings of the Centaurs, the signs of approaching war, all seem connected to the same growing imbalance. Whether prophecy comes through the seers or through the stars, it appears most often when history approaches a turning point. Trelawney foresaw Voldemort's downfall. The Centaurs sensed the coming wars. Both pointed toward the same conflict. Perhaps prophecy is simply a glimpse of the future. Or perhaps it is something more. It may be nature's warning that balance is being threatened. And if that is true, no one threatened that balance more than Lord Voldemort. If you would like to explore that idea further, please check out my series, The Wizarding World's Quiet Correction, where we examine the theory that nature itself may have been working to correct the imbalance Voldemort created throughout the Harry Potter story. If you are interested in watching the first episode, click on the video on the top of your screen. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below.